You're listening to Truly Unruly with Marcus and Jessica Trufant. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Truly Unruly with Marcus and Jessica Trufant. My name's Kel. That's Marcus.
Hey.
That's Jessica.
Whoop.
Trufants, how y'all feeling? How y'all doing?
Doing good, brother.
We're surviving.
Doing good.
We are surviving.
We're good, though. I think we're surviving, but we're good, right?
We're good. We are. We're really good. I mean, yep. Exactly what you said. How are you, Kel?
I'm doing all right. It was a nice 77, 78 degree day here in Vegas. So it was nice and mild, sunny. Wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold. But it's starting to finally cool off, though. So it's a good time of year.
It's actually been really nice in Seattle. Global warming. Hashtag global warming. It was 70 something last week. And that is, I don't know, was it like this last year? I don't think it was that hot this time last year, but it's just been really nice. Global warming is a real thing. Okay. All right.
All right, y'all. We got an email from a lady, which is, I feel like her email is just more out of just frustration in the dating world. I'll read it to you guys. So she said,
Personal
hey, y'all.
Problems?
I know, right? She goes, hey, y'all. So I'm 30 years old. I've been out here in these dating streets for a minute. It's been a struggle finding a good man who matches my energy and values. I'm smart. I got my own hustle and I know my worth, but it feels like I'm always running into the wrong ones. I wanted to ask y'all, why is it so hard to find a good man nowadays? Is it just me, or is there something other women are doing, or is it just me, or is this something other women are dealing with too? I would love to hear your thoughts. And experiences. Thanks.
Well, first, I'm glad that she's willing to point the finger at herself
and check in.
Check in with herself. And second, I think this is maybe an epidemic among women. I don't think she's alone. And I think you are right. I think it has something to do with you. There's some kind of conflict within you that you need to resolve in order to allow space for the right man to come along in your life. And when you are mentioning you're in these streets, in these dating streets, maybe you need to get out of them for a minute and self-reflect. That would be my thing. When there's just no man for you, either that is literally your path and your destiny that was written out for you before you were born, or I mean, there might be something else to it.
Well, yes, I do agree with that. And sometimes you just got to chill out. Exactly like you said. You got to be still. Like if you in the streets, you in the streets too heavy, you're trying a little too hard, right?
What were we talking about earlier?
We was just talking about it. You kind of got to let these things happen. Right. Especially if you've been out there and you've been swinging and you've been striking out on a regular basis.
When you're just consistently swinging, how can you even have the stillness to, attract the right person? Sometimes I think you have to be still, and constantly trying to date and do this and do that and do this and do that. I think you potentially can miss some valuable opportunities and connections.
Right.
How can you open yourself up when you're busy all over the place?
At the same time, it's a fine line, though, because we don't want to come off as saying that it's 100% hurt, too, because a lot of men ain't shit. A lot of guys ain't shit as well. And if you're in the streets and you're just on the scene, just by the law of numbers, you may run into some bad apples, right? So,
but if you she said she keeps attracting. So there's a pattern there.
Right.
And that means that is that's a behavior.
Right. But we do want to encourage well, I guess if you are working on yourself, you're being real with yourself, that doesn't mean, that you lack the confidence in the swag in yourself. So I do want to encourage this encourage this young lady to continue to work and not be too down on
Oh,
herself.
don't be discouraged.
Yeah, she got things to work on, but it can't be 100%, right? It takes two to tango, and we talked about that.
Right.
So she just need to take some time, man, get things worked out.
Yeah. Take some time. Maybe take some time to be alone. What is it? Sometimes when there's a break, well, kind of the theme of what I keep saying, when you're able to have some stillness, some silence, be still, then you will attract the right energy. That right energy will come along. You'll know it. You'll feel it. You'll match it. And
quit being so thirsty, in so many words.
I mean, you guys are right about, taking a time for her to pause and figure herself out. But at the same time, I mean, in the words of Michael Scott, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
You're absolutely right.
Michael Scott. I will let that one go. That's my show, though. That's my shit.
Michael
right
Scott also was a terrible boss.
Awful.
So
depends on what type of boss you're looking for. I thought he's pretty compassionate and a loving boss.
I thought he was really great as a human. I really did, and I wish I would have worked for him.
And he always meant well,
because I would have had longevity in that type of space.
Shit, terrible space.
Hey, do you guys think too, though? Like, I saw this chart earlier today. It was a chart that was showing like how people met their significant others from 1920 like up until now, right? And so it had a list of different ways of how people meet. So it's like from family or at work, church, grocery store, bar, entertainment,
times
online,
have changed, though.
Whatever. I know that's what I'm getting to my point. And so it got to so I'm watching the meter like do its thing or whatever, and then it gets to like the 2000s and it gets to 2024. 60% of people have met their significant other online.
I knew it.
Which is crazy to me.
Right.
Yeah.
It's insane because I'm like, it's just, there's no such thing as organically meeting people anymore.
No, we're so disconnected.
Yeah.
We're so disconnected. You can't even meet your partner in a natural way.
But it's like, Jess, we're so connected that we're disconnected. So it's like the dating pool, I feel like also like, I think because of online dating, people have too many options now.
That's what, Kel, these are the distractions. This is where the speed, taking all the shots. Like you're completely distracted. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like, swipe this, got to set up this date, got to do that. Oh, that didn't work. So I'm right back on. How can you like be still to think about anything else, especially with the rest of life's chaos? And then you're just speed dating.
You know what we're doing here,
some,
guys?
I don't want to knock it because everybody, shit happens. And a lot of people, I'm sure, have met their mate from speed dating and from taking a bunch of shots. But sometimes you got to try something different.
That's true. But just like you said, Jess, in the 1920s, things have changed and everything like that. And now we're in 2024 and we were,
we're old as fuck.
Kids of the early 2000s and stuff when we was in or I guess the mid 2000s, right? Things have changed. So for the kids now and the people now that are on the dating scene, this is what it looks like, right?
I know. I know. And this is the way it's going. And it's like,
right. It's the norm. You're going to be dating a robot in a little bit, right? I saw the Tesla robots
about
and all
that. The Tesla robots that are going to come out.
Things are changing.
I'm so sorry. I want one.
Things are changing.
Fucking walk my dogs. What the
I'm scared of that.
We also went as far as we know there's going to be some robot marriages, some robot relationships.
Yo, Jessica, people are already doing they're already doing that in like Japan and shit.
Wow. I knew it though. Yeah.
So like there's like these like it's this you want to hear the wildest shit ever? So I want to say it was Vice. I think it was Vice. Vice did this piece on dating in Japan. And how like I guess it's like really, really hard. Like dating out there, like it's just awful, right? Places like there
Uh-huh.
in China, it's just really awful.
They have a low birth rate.
Yeah.
They're
And
struggling.
so they have these like brothels where you can pretty much like date, have sex or whatever with like an AI like robot. Like a sex doll, but it's like an
I had
AI sex
curls
doll.
on, I'd clutch him. Ooh, it kind of makes you happy that we were able to really experience real human
I know, yeah,
connection
that's
and
true.
real
Right.
love. And seriously,
Right.
because they're not gonna
be in
know
the
what that
Matrix
is.
and not even know what that
Right.
feels
They're
like.
not either. They're
But
people are gonna be fucking robots and
it'll
shit.
be the norm, though.
I
It will be the
know.
norm. It'll be people like us that's be like, that's crazy, but it'll be normal for everybody up that grows up in this time.
I
which
know this is insane. This is
Shit.
how life works.
Wow.
This is evolution. This is the circle. This is insane.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a soul though. Like that's the part for me that's like it doesn't have a soul.
That's where everything is going, Kale.
It doesn't have a soul, but guess
So
what?
crazy.
A lot of people do not have souls. And as long as that robot has some other qualities, I don't think people care.
Yeah, that's like you guys ever see the movie Blade Runner? Do you remember the movie Blade Runner when the new version of it where he's
title.
like dating the girl and it's like she's like a hologram, so she's not like real.
Sounds like something I've seen. Yeah, I've seen a couple different versions of that.
Very year 3000 dystopian type of deal or whatever.
That's where we're headed.
It's just so strange.
I think we're already there.
So weird.
To
we're
a certain
close,
point.
but
Yeah.
it's gonna get really weird. It's about to be really weird.
And I think with like this lady and her situation, you know, how she's saying, you know, she's been in these dating streets and she's struggling. I think also it's the fact that she's 30 and that biological time clock is going off. And so it seems like she's like in a hurry.
Mm-hmm.
And does it go back to a point that you've made plenty of times on this show, Jessica, where it's like maybe she needs to lower her standards a little bit and find something that's good, someone that's good enough for her.
Right. As in, look at yourself. Lower your standards if need be, because that could very well be the case. And so, yeah, when your biological clock is ticking and you become desperate, some people might really start shooting shots and.
Right. Or you wait around, you get one of these robots and you can customize exactly what you want.
You can have a robot baby.
But the lady, she also on the other side of going internal and looking at yourself, you might have to be okay with being by yourself too, because that is an option.
That's part of the stillness.
Yeah. Unless you force yourself to do something, if you really want to be with somebody, or you got to be okay with being by yourself to a certain point. Right?
Yeah, that's part of being still.
Yep.
Shut the get off the computer.
Do you guys think that is more like our generation? It's because it's like I look at like our parents' generation and you have more like, I mean, you have those women that were like single that never had kids or whatever, but a lot of them are like divorcees, right? But I look at our generation.
They were forced to be married. That was like a generation where you
you're right,
married.
Jess. No, Jess, you're absolutely right. But what I'm saying is like, it's not until like our generation that I meet and I know more women and I have this conversation with that are like, yeah, I've come to the point where I just have to just be okay with knowing that I'm probably going to be alone the rest of my life and I'm probably not going to have kids. And it's just like, I just hear more of that coming from like our generation than prior generations. And it makes me like feel really fearful for my children and my grandkids. Cause I'm like, well, where are we going to be at by the time they're adults and they start procreating and they start looking for life partners, you know?
All you can do is lay that foundation early and really to send them out into the world. It's their lives. It's their path. It's their, all you can do is hope and pray that you have done your best.
Right. And I think
even if you have done your best.
Right. I think with information and everything that's out there, people, of course, love the family and the thought of family and marriage and all that kind of stuff. But with so much information and so many options now of what you can do, a lot of people are choosing careers and stuff first
Right.
over family and the marriage and doing all this kind of stuff. And that's around the world. I think that's
infertile.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Do you think that's
that
what
too.
from
That's a good point.
I guess
Yeah,
the
there's a
food
lot.
and the
I don't
environment
know,
and
but
everything.
there's more and more women becoming infertile, especially
And men.
since I think
Right.
COVID.
Oh,
and
so the
stuff
robots
like
are
that.
coming in to replace us
I
as we
believe
age
it.
out.
I
and they
believe
can't
it.
have kids.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there is a cleansing
I
that
see
has
the
been
movie.
happening.
I see it.
But yeah. Yep. It is real, and it is.
But that's just the mentality, though. I think the mentality over time has changed. Our generation, like you said, Kel, is not our parents' generation that it was really all about marriage and making sure you do the family
That's not even
thing.
like a thing. And remember, it was illegal to get a divorce too back then. Not that long ago, actually.
But I'm not going back that far. I'm just saying the differences between us and our parents, right?
They were
There's
close
already
to that.
a gap there. Yeah.
But
you got to remember our parents' generation, though, and like my mom falls into this. It's like there was this point in like the 80s where like everyone got divorced. Everyone.
I wonder why. That was a rough time.
Crack.
That was
a rough
AIDS. There was a lot going on.
Yeah, there was a lot going on.
Economy,
that was a rough time.
There was a lot of time. That was a rough time. But like
people was getting locked up. People was getting
mass
divorced.
Incarceration,
Yeah. Oh yeah, mass incarceration. There's definitely this window of time of like the mid 80s until like the mid 90s where like everyone's parents were getting divorced. Because it's wild where like I when I talk to friends like in our age group and the amount of people whose parents were divorced, but like not like their parents got divorced later. It was like, oh yeah, my parents got divorced in 91. My parents got divorced in 90. You know, it's like this very strange window of time. And to your point that you had made earlier, Marcus, about our generation focusing more on the career and having kids later, like, do you think, and I mean, I guess it goes back to what an individual values, but it's like, do you think maybe we kind of got our values, our generation kind of like mixed up instead of focusing on like wanting to like create family and create community, focus more on just on selfishness, on just like self and career and things that aren't going to last forever, at least with
we were the
family.
Generation of that. We were the generation of college students and career, and like we are the brokest, the millennial generation. We're like the brokest generation. We're the most struggling. We were on the cusp of technology and just missed all of those opportunities. And before social media blew up, and now kids are playing with toys and making all this fucking money. But shit, lost my train of thought. What was I saying?
No, Mama, you had it just as far as where we're at in our generation, being that first generation of that, right? And trying to change and go for your careers and do everything first.
Yes. And so we were the college kids, and we were told that this was the path. You had to go to college. You had to do this. And it's not like that anymore. There's so many opportunities and avenues and ways. And I was just talking about this with somebody. We are conditioned to go to school, go to college, and that's the only way to do things, instead of encouraging entrepreneurship and doing stuff like that. And so, but now this generation they've got that. And they understand that. And so the millennials are like, we're in corporate America and doing all this stupid shit that we fucking hate. And this next generation they're like creating all this shit and doing all this shit and putting it on the internet and becoming fucking achieving their wildest dreams.
Right.
So sorry.
Our generation or Kel, to go back to what you said, do I think that we got our values and things kind of mixed up when you're going away from the family and thinking more of the selfish side? I don't necessarily think so.
We are a selfish
but
country.
Maybe people still weren't free thinking. I think that we are kind of like that generation that still kind of followed the rules, right?
Yeah.
The kids now, when the younger kids, they have so much information, so they don't have to rely on the people that's telling them
that's
what to
why they're able to do these things. They're
they
starting
have
their
all
own
this information,
YouTube
all this creative
business and all this like
stuff. So it makes them a little different, and it puts them in a different position. And the people that are in authority positions, they have to change the way they do stuff. So I think it's just a whole
and that's
cycle
a problem
of things being okay. All right, I don't want to get married. I don't want to have kids, and you shouldn't look down on me.
Yeah, but then there's a problem because there's also a population shortage, and that is there's going to be mass.
But
chaos.
What I'm saying, it's not a blanket thing. There's people that may not feel that way. There's people that do feel that way, and people are kind of all over the place. But back in the day, it was more like a blanket thing. And if you're outside of that, you're seen as like the outcast or the black sheep, or you're doing something wrong.
People are going to be marrying robots very shortly.
But it's gonna have to be made to be okay, even though I think it's crazy. But people are gonna be like, okay, you can't discriminate against me because I love robots.
We were the last grounded generation, maybe.
Still following the rules.
Like we were now these guys are in outer space, right? And maybe that's how our parents felt about our generation. I don't know. Maybe
of course they did. Of course they did.
But
for sure.
But literally, the internet has taken. This is beyond what our parents thought about our generation, because this shit is crazy. Like shit is rapidly changing like every day. And I think it moved a little bit slower when we were younger.
Yeah. I just think like it doesn't revert back to the, like, when you meet these older folks or know these older folks that like spent most of their lives focused on their career, and then they get on their deathbed and they say, my only regret was I wish I spent more time with my family or I wish I had a family. You know, that's always like the age old regret when people get on their deathbed, you know? And so like, I just hope that like our generation doesn't fall into that, of people that were so focused on chasing the bag.
We are the generation that's going to say that, because we're working ourselves to death, and this generation under us is not, or maybe I'm thinking my daughter's age, I'm sorry. They're not going to be doing that. They're going to be petitioning against hard work. They're going to be saying we deserve a 4-day fucking work week.
Right.
Like that kind of stuff, like the change agents. No, we're fucked. So we might as well just make the best of it right now.
I think we're trying, though. Our generation is the last generation to be able to, I think, it kind of be movable, though. Our parents are stuck in their ways, right?
Right.
But us, I feel like
we have the access.
Yeah, we can kind of play both sides of the fence, right? And we can understand, and we could do better if we know better. So I think a lot of that is happening.
Still can't catch up with these children.
We can't catch up,
and
but we can fake it till we make it.
They're not like, When I see an adult my age that is super techie, I'm like, you must have went to school for that, because there is no.
Yeah. It's a difference, but we do have a chance and an opportunity because we're still close enough. And like you said, the information is available.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I just think we are the last, since we are that generation that knows what the world was like before the internet and during the transition into the world of the internet. It's like we are lucky to say, though, that we are the generation that still like will work hard. And we understand that there's no such thing as instant gratification. And with these younger kids now, this new generation, where they have so much, like we said, access to information and technology, everything is so instant for them that it's like, well, I need to have it now, instead of like, well, nah, man, like slow build, build it up.
Well, some of them are kind of getting it now. That's the thing. Yeah. And I get it, hard work, but who the fuck wants to work themselves to the fucking bone? Who wants to do that? Okay, it builds character, and it also builds an early grave, and it also builds heart disease and plaques and sickness and illness. Yeah, it builds that too.
Well, Jess, Jess, you're right, because that is redundancy. So like if you're still doing the same bullshit, mundane, just thing over and over and over again, oh yeah, I'm gonna want to jump off of something. But it's like if you are learning the ropes of something and you are climbing the ladder in something,
yes,
it's like you're learning and you're getting better and you're becoming better.
Growth.
But yeah, like
Right.
we are not the generation of factory workers. Like we're not the generation that is working on in a steel mill somewhere. I mean, there are some people if you go to the Midwest, obviously, in the South,
right.
but like, you know, we're not the generation of folks that's like, all right, I'm gonna go punch a clock and take my lunch pail and go work in a copper mine. Like we're not doing that. So
no,
I totally get what you mean. Yeah, totally.
We still might punch a clock though.
So for this lady, I mean, she sounds like though, just from this email though, like she sounds like that. Like, I mean, it's just an email, so I guess like you can translate it any way you want. But like, she seems like that like aggressive woman. That's like you go on the first date and immediately it's like, so what are your intentions? Do you plan on getting married? Do you want to have kids? Like, it's just, you know what I mean?
That's not aggressive. That's inquisitive.
That's the thirst. And don't nobody want to hear that shit. Exactly.
Do that on the first date.
I want to know if I'm wasting my fucking time.
On the first date or date 2?
Maybe. Why not?
So what are your intentions with me?
Say exactly what you state your intentions the first.
Have dinner with you right now.
So you don't
wait. Don't waste no time in.
Don't waste no time. Don't
is that
sit
only
there
for the woman?
Fuck around when you have a goal.
Is that only for the woman or is that for a guy
Both.
too in the same situation?
Both.
You guys don't want to hear exactly what we want to do the first time we see you guys.
You do. If you want to fuck, you need to be like, you know what? I'm here. If I want to fuck, if something happens from that, okay, that works.
Be realistic.
No, I think, like we said, this is a different time.
Like that.
I think we're in a time where we can almost do that.
I feel like we can.
Let's be honest. I think people do that.
But a lady that is striking out,
put it out.
Maybe she needs to change up her game. If she is that extra, like, okay, yeah, so what are your intentions? What are we going to do, right? The people she's around or the people she likes, they don't want to hear that shit. So let's...
Oh, millennial. That's a millennial talking.
Switch up the game plan. And you are playing the game. If somebody's coming up to you and say, yeah, I like how you look. And it's 2028 or 30, right?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Are we fucking or not tonight?
Okay. Let's be straightforward. Let's be honest. I don't know. Maybe
everybody can't handle that.
42-year-old in me. Let's be straightforward.
No, everybody can't handle that though. It's my point. And if you were striking out, or if I was striking out and I'm coming up to women and I'm saying that every time and they're like, okay, a complete turnoff. I'm done with that. I might want to think in my mind and I gotta.
Well, Marcus, you gotta read the room first. You don't just come out and like say, I want to fuck, right?
You do. In some cases,
but
just say that.
She's inquiring. It's like him being like, so are you into sex?
There's a way to do it.
Can we pop? You think?
Maybe.
I don't know. But yeah.
Or maybe not. But yeah, but the lady ain't getting no play. If she was getting play and she was doing what she wanted to do, right? And meeting the people she wanted to meet, then you keep doing what you're doing. But you are falling short, sister. And we're just trying to help. And if she's been doing the full court press, chill out. Play a little 2-3.
She was thirsty. She just said she had been in the streets.
Thirst. Translation.
I'm just saying, because it's like that conversation of your intentions and whatever on the first date, like as a dude, immediately in my head it's like, Jesus Christ, like I just met you and you're already talking about like kids and like how many kids you want to have and like that's how you scare someone off.
Well,
like
if you can't handle it,
no, Jessica,
man, you can't handle it.
No, you have to ease into
that's
that.
How it goes,
like, you just don't just jump.
But why do you have to ease into it? If I'm on a date and I'm going to be like, I'm going to be straightforward with you. I just met you. And I think it has to do with age. I'm thinking of at my age, I would say that. If I was unmarried, I'd be like, I'm looking to get married. I'm looking to have kids. And
you'll never be married, Dan. Everybody's not looking for that. You're going to...
Well, then why are you dating? Then why are you wasting your time?
To see if you may want to do that with somebody. But if this person doesn't know you or even think there might be a chance. Yeah, I might want to marry you if I can get to know you, but you don't ask me that on day one.
I'm confused. I'm not sitting down with anybody that doesn't have a chance or doesn't think they.
It's the first date, though, and you're going to be talking about marriage, or what's your intentions?
Okay, well then, what do you talk about? What do you talk about on a first date as an adult?
You can talk about
what do you
intentions.
do for a living?
Okay, that takes all of 1 minute.
Where's your family from? So like, where'd you grow up? Okay.
So what you're saying is, you can ask somebody like,
okay.
Would they want to be married? Do you ever want to be married?
I just said inquiring.
We're talking about pressure though. So what are your intentions in this? This is our day one, and we're saying,
yes, it's like a parent saying, what is your intent with my daughter? Fucking answer it. Oh, they're being aggressive. They're being
parents
aggressive.
Are meant
you
to
have
be
a right
aggressive.
to ask.
Parents are meant
You have
to
a right
to
say that. You have a right to say, what are your intentions?
And you have a right
before we take this date
to continue to get turned down like this young lady is. So I'm trying to help you, sister.
There's nothing wrong with saying I'm looking to be married.
There is something wrong with it if it's not working. If it's not working.
Or are you looking to be married? Because if you aren't, you know what? Check, please.
Not everyone's dating to marry, though. Like,
not everybody's dating to marry. But if you are, I say
maybe
put it out there immediately, so you don't get your little heart broken and put him on notice.
It's a coin flip.
You're gonna try and get in these pants, but just know I'm looking for life. So you better be careful.
Well, yo, all right. Well, good talk, y'all. Truly Unruly, Marcus and Jessica Truffaut. My name is Kel. If you want us to answer any of your emails, you can email us at trulyunrulypodcast@gmail.com. We'll be more than happy to answer them. Follow us on all things social at trulyunruly_podcast. And of course, like, review, and subscribe on your favorite podcast player and catch the visual over on YouTube. And of course, you can check us out every Sunday on Converge. Yep. Boom. All right, y'all. Till next time, peace and much love.
Hey.